What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. As Jay and I are here tonight to talk about, uh, oh, Danny Boy, Danielson, Danny Studman, Danny Stutzman. You name it. He wears many hats. I'm just glad he wears the OU helmet. Captain, leader, Danny Stutzman. One heck of a game last night in Norman, Oklahoma, with 17 tackles, two and a half. Uh, he had 17 tackles, I think, two and a half tackles for losses. Had a QB sack, the one QB sack, had to hurry. Just lit up the quarterback on helmet into the chest down there in the red zone once, recovered the fumble that Key Lawrence caused. The guy was everywhere, and today was awarded the National Defensive Player of the Week, Danny Stutzman. What a legend in the making right now, Jay.
You know, it was one of the best performances from a linebacker at OU in a long time. I mean, just he was all over the field. I mean, and what you don't see, I don't think this year, or you haven't yet, is him being out of position. It's just not happening. He's so in tune with everything. I mean, there was a couple plays last night that, specifically the reverse. They ran a couple of trick plays, and Danny was just all over it. I mean, all over it, unreal. He was good in coverage. He was good when he went after the quarterback. The fumble recovery kind of a little bit went unnoticed, I think, but that was a big play by Danny. I mean, he was very, very kind of calm when he went to get it and made sure he wasn't touching out of bounds or anything. Just a heady
Well,
play.
well, he had to beat it was Woody Washington, I think. Woody Washington was actually out of bounds, getting ready to touch that ball, which would have made it a dead ball, but Stutzman beat him and got his hands on it before that. Massive play, yeah. And really, if you listen to Danny Stutzman in the post game, he talked with John Hoover, and he just kept. I thought it was interesting. He said this phrase at least three times. He's proud of my guys, my guys. If that doesn't show leadership, I mean, he's taking ownership of them and saying they're his guys. And he talked also about the fact that he has put in a lot of time outside of the normal hours of practice with the coaching staff. And he talked about how the game has slowed down. He said he was far from perfect last night in that game, that he's got a lot to learn, but wow, the game has slowed down and he looks totally different. We knew he was going to be special, but this game he really showed it all.
Well, and I mean, you say he said it slows down, but from my perspective watching it, it looks like he's faster. And it's because, maybe he's not thinking as much. It's more natural. He knows where he's supposed to be and he's just on it. And I mean, you forget that he's 6'4". I mean, he runs really well. I mean, and he hits hard. I mean, everything he's doing this year. I mean, he was a great backer last year. He just played so. I just think they just didn't have any depth at all. And you're right. He's taken on the leadership role. And some of the plays he made last night, from either a tackle across the field all the way to make it. There was a couple plays he rushed the quarterback and got the quarterback, made him hurry it and throw it. The one where he hit the quarterback right under the chin a little bit, not quite under the chin, but that was a big play. I mean, just all around, the dude's a stud linebacker. And he got nominated before the season for the Butkus Award, and if he keeps playing like that, you might as well put that in his dorm room, because he's going to get it if he keeps playing the way he's playing. OU has a good team this year. He's going to win that award. He's so good at linebacker, and I'm trying to think. I mean, you could say Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray was extremely good backer for OU,
He reminds
but
me a lot of he reminds me a lot of Rocky Calmus. He's obviously faster than Calmus was, I think.
he's
If
kind of
you watch,
like maybe a little bit between Lehman and Calmus. I mean, Lehman was
yeah, I could see
super
that.
fast.
I
Uh,
could see that, but his lateral sideline to sideline ability was impressive last night. How he would chase guys down. And you mentioned this earlier. They ran a trick play and he sniffed that. He sniffed that thing up from the
oh,
get
he
go.
knew it.
He did not leave his side, did not leave home, and was just sitting there waiting. If you noticed his reaction after that, dude, after that play, after they made that play, his reaction was almost like, "Okay, come on, like this dude's been in the film room. This isn't his first rodeo."
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's not, and you see him on the field when Canick. There was a couple of times where Canick, one in specifically that Canick was just a little bit out of position on a pass play, and you see Stutzman talking to him. I mean, he's just such a good leader out there on that whole defense, and I I do think the defensive lines helped him out a lot because I think they're eating up blocks, and he's getting a lot more just free run for a little bit instead of it being all plugged up a little bit. I think that's helped. And the Venables defense, it's predicated on that. You got to have good up front guys that are making plays, and he's just feasting off it. And for him, I mean, some of those out of those 17 tackles, it's just like he was a bolt of lightning through there to get it. I mean, that was it. And I haven't watched the whole game again yet, and I need to go back and watch it. But some of those plays just stand out. Just
He's
amazing plays by Stutzman.
he's the combo of speed and strength. I mean, he's got it. He's
Yeah.
got the perfect combination: speed,
What do
strength,
you?
size. He's got all of it. But one thing, Jay, is last year, and I mean, Venables and him almost butted heads a little bit. I really think early on, I think Venables knew how great Stutzman could be, knew the potential, knew that he was going to be his guy in the middle, and you can tell that. I mean, Venables he's really embraced Stutzman being the leader, and just they even banter back and forth some. But I just think that this guy's going to be the one of the greatest of all time to don a Sooner uniform as a linebacker.
Well, what do you think? I'm interested to hear you and what the viewers think of the helmets that the backers are wearing. I mean, specifically, I've noticed with him and Canick, it's a little bit different helmet. Have you noticed that?
I noticed a little bit. And I was curious of the same thing. Hey, you mentioned Canick. I think Stutzman, and not just Canick, Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie. There's so many guys in that linebacker room that I just think the confidence level that Stutzman has, as he says, in all his guys. I just think that's kind of, and the duo of him and Canick is like a security blanket, knowing Jaron Canick's right there with him.
Oh, and and we talked about this on our podcast. 7 missed tackles for the team for the defense in 2 games. I I don't know if Danny has a missed tackle. I mean, I'd have to watch film, but if he's near you, you're going to go down. I mean, he's going to get you, whether it be wrangling you up or just hitting you dead on center hard. He's going to make the play, and it's just so encouraging to see that, to see the tackling being so good right now.
Hey, and then you got him in the middle of the field. You got Bowman and Bowen back on the back end. Pearson's a heavy hitter, and then once you add just a 5-star D tackle to that group in the middle, this group is going to be scary good. And even this year, it's scary good. Holding SMU to 11 points last night,
Great
guys.
performance.
One of the best offensive teams they're going to see all year. Defense was on the ropes a couple times, stepped up, made big plays, and it's exciting. Danny Stutzman, very deserving of the National Defensive Player of the Week. Probably many more is going to come in his pocket as well. And honestly, I don't know the last time OU had a National Defensive Player of the Week was. So great sign moving forward. Got TU this week. Make sure you're on here to see what content we have each day as we preview that game going forward. Until next time, Jay. Boomer.
Boomer.